Hey everybody, it's me. I'm very excited. It's a little windy outside. Doesn't bother me at all because there might be something special underneath this towel right here. What could it be? Is it possible that it's my favorite bread of all time? Is it possible that it is olive bread? Yeah, because this is the olive bread. You probably already saw that. Yeah, I'm not gonna show it. You're gonna have to earn it. We're gonna make olive bread together. All right, here we go. Kalamata olives, delicious. Green olives, more delicious. Some lemons, of course. We're gonna zest them up. Herbes de Provence, because it's fancy to say. White flour and wheat flour, and of course, our starter. And then we're ready to roll. That's pretty much it. I mean, all you have to do is take your starter, and you know this. All you need is a tablespoon, one little tablespoon, and you start feeding it equal amounts of water and flour, and it grows. And you're gonna have to do it a couple of times. It's gonna say here in the video that it's gonna be 3 or 4 hours, but that's really on the last feeding. Get your thing active, get it going, and just keep repeating and feeding. I usually do it 2 times, and then 2 to 3 times of feeding it, having it rise up and get bubbly, and then you just get a sense it's really bubbly and ready to go. On that last feed, it's like 3 to 4 hours, and then you're ready to mix your dough, because mixing your dough is the final step. But this is getting your starter going is the first step, and that's why it takes you a couple days from the beginning. If you see up in the top left corner, there's a gnome. Very important that you have a gnome friend when you make this bread. Okay, so it's gonna rest for 3 and 4 hours, and see how bubbly it is? That is beautiful, and if you could smell it, you'd be so happy. Remember, always use your digital scale. You always gotta weigh things out. Always, 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 because flour compacts, and it is inaccurate, so weigh stuff out. Get a little scale. It's cool. It makes you feel like a baker. And then you mix it around with your hands, which is really good because you get a feel for it. And the bit more you do it, the more you get an understanding of how much moisture is in it. And this is called the autolyse. For the first time you mix the water in, you let it rest for 30 minutes. It absorbs it all. And you'll see it becomes it's starting to take on a different quality. Throw in your salt, 2 tablespoons of salt. You can go 1.5. I always like to salt it up. Check the gnome in the top corner. He's starting to act a little weird. Okay, so now I just put a little drop of water in the bottom of this bowl. This is a Ken Forkish trick. And when you put your starter in, we're going to weigh 200 grams from that original starter. You get it in the water, and then you can just scoop it out with your hand, just like this, and then put it in, leaving the water behind. You get a trace of water, but it's not significant at all. And it's a good way to measure it out and put it back into your dough. So now we're adding our yeast, essentially. Your starter is your yeast. And we have our flour, our water, our salt, and now our yeast. And this is the dough for our olive bread. Again, the gnome is starting to move. It's very subtle, but you can tell that I don't know if he's helpful or if he's just mischievous. I guess we'll find out as we go along. Okay, so now we've mixed that dough. Mix it in the big container because it's big and it allows you to manipulate it and stuff. And then I move it to the smaller container. You can't tell from this. I'm not sure exactly how many quarts it is, but it's still pretty tall. And this is the stretch and fold method. You stretch and fold, and you're not kneading it. And then you leave it like that. You're going to do this for about 4 times. Oh, you see that? How did he get on there? I don't know. We left it for 30 minutes, and there he is. Okay, after the first stretch and fold is when I like to start adding the ingredients. And I use the little finger method, apparently. I wasn't aware of that. It's a lot of olives. It's not a lot of the zest and the herbes de Provence. You're going to be stretching and folding this a lot, but this is kind of fun. You can't make a mistake with this. Just do it by whatever makes you feel comfortable and like that you're doing a good job. I trust you. You can't fail because you're going to be stretching and folding this and shaping and doing a whole bunch of stuff. You don't have to be super accurate in any way, shape, or form. Just get the stuff in there. Just try not to get like one giant clump of it because that's going to be a giant clump in the bread that you're going to have to work out. Just kind of spread it around. Again, the gnome here is probably giving you some tips. They love olives. They love olives. There's always some that falls off on the side, and you'll notice when you go and wash your hands that it's no longer there. It's usually because the gnome did something. Okay, so now you're going to stretch and fold for 2 more times over 3 to 4 hours. It depends how warm it is. If it's warmer, it'll be more active. It'll rise more quickly. But isn't that beautiful? And the smell of this at this point is so great. So this is after we've gone through a bunch of stretch and folds, and look at that. Oh man, it is a beautiful, beautiful sheen to it. It just feels good, looks good. Again, why is the gnome there and who's his friend? It looks like some kind of an animal. Where did they come from? Again, don't ask questions, just shape your bread. Shape it, shape it, shape it. Always remember, there's a top to the bread. Keep it on top. Let the surface grip and hold the bread as you can go to other videos, my videos or other people's, and see about shaping. But this is basically you see, I don't put flour on the base because I don't want it slippery. I want it to be tense. I want it to grab onto the dough, so that way you can manipulate. Oh my God. Did you see that? You saw that, right? Okay, so this was after a bench rest. It sat for after 20 minutes after the first shaping, and now we're ready for the final shaping. I like to flip it around. Look at the olive sticking out. I'm already so happy. I already did this, and I'm sad I'm not doing it again. Oh my God. Okay, so this is the little method that I use. You kind of tuck it in, make it into a little Post-it, a little baby. Flip it over. Again, very little flour you'll see on the base, using the mat or your work surface just to grab it. And look at that. That is a nice shape. Good job, Tom. That is beautiful. And this one, same thing. Get a little faster. Very good. And then you just pull it in. Look at that. Those are shaped so nicely. The timing is really the thing. It's not me. I mean, it is me, but it's also the timing. This dough has rested the right amount of time. It had bench rested the right amount of time. Now I like to leave it, before it goes in the refrigerator, I like to leave it out for about 40 minutes, around there. See how, oh look at that. Oh man, it is an animal. Did you see that? I think it's a hyena. I think that's a hyena. And why is he friends with a gnome? And why is the gnome equal size of the hyena? This is getting very disturbing. But let's focus. This is scoring, of course. This is after the refrigerator. This is the next day, kids. Next day. That's my method, by the way. I like to put the paper down and the parchment paper, put it on there, and then put it in. So you're not flipping it over, burning yourself. You can press pause. You can look at the timing of this. I can't talk that fast. And ta-da! We made olive bread. We're the best. Oh, you saw that, right? All right. That's embarrassing. He should be embarrassed. Well, that wasn't so hard. If you did it in real time, this is a couple days later. So I'm still in the same shirt because I wanted to be consistent. You want to see what ours looked like? Look at this. Look at this. I'm so proud of this. This looks amazing. Look at that beautiful rise. Look at that beautiful shape. I love that you see the olives peeking out. It's nice and soft. This is amazing. It just came out. So let's cut it open. Should I go right down the middle? That'd be pretty dramatic. We normally don't do that, but should we? All right, let's do it. It's always key to have a good knife. You know why this knife is so great? It's right here at this point. It's got a curve to it. We might have spoken about this at other points, but it's got a curve to it. So you're cutting, 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 and then at the end, you don't have to drag through the bread. Just turn it up and let it do its thing. It's simple. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, oh, oh. That is beautiful. Oh, it smells so good. This is still my favorite bread. Oh boy. Come on. It's so spongy. There's a lot of moisture from the olives, so it just makes it, this bread lasts like a week. It really just keeps on going. Oh, it's so good. It's my favorite. Here's a little tip. What I like on the olive bread is cream cheese. I know. Hey, you do what you want with it. It's just as good with butter. It's good with all that stuff. But for me, for my money, I go cream cheese. It's so good. It's so good. This is punch you in the face quality olive bread. Last time when we made the ciambella, I felt like we were in Italy. Now we are in the south of France. So good. More recipes coming. I think scones might be next. I'm feeling scones. Like and subscribe and you'll see what we do next. Thank you for being a part of this community, and the gnome thanks you.